So number one, we've kind of already alluded to it. Number one is what, Marie?
Lifting heavy things, weight training, getting in that gym and throwing around some heavy weights, like not the little 3 to 5 pounds that I will tell you, there's been some instances where I was advised like, hey, don't do it. Don't lift heavy weights because you're going to get bulky.
Right.
So stick with the 3 to 5s and really like make everything sound.
That was old news. I had the same thing. I always say that like the biggest thing that I wanted is do you remember the Hudson jeans with the cute little pockets on the back?
Oh yeah.
And I had like a little muscle butt in my 20s and 30s. And I always wanted those Hudson jeans, but the little pockets made my butt look even bigger. And so I was like, I didn't want to get
paid a lot of money for that,
Now they do.
Yeah.
But it's like in the, early 2000s, that wasn't a thing. And so I really wanted, I didn't want to build too much muscle because then I would be even further away from Hudson jeans.
Right.
So I do think there's something that's really important about us reframing what muscle is. And I think you bring up a really good point that when we're looking at preserving muscle through aging, you're also preserving your confidence.
Yes.
And you're preserving your insulin sensitivity because the more muscle you have, the more insulin receptor sites you have. When you actually lift weights and you break down muscle, you stimulate a metabolite that goes up and promotes BDNF in the brain, which is like fertilizer for the brain.
Oh.
So lifting weights when we age is so much more than just about looking good. There's so many pieces to it.
Yeah. And I think that it's really important. You don't have to do this by yourself.
Right.
I'm in New York City. That's where I live. And there's a place that I go to. It's called Liftonic. And it's like these really simple basic classes where we go down into a dungeon. It's like barbells and dumbbells and like benches.
Yeah.
And there's great trainers that show you the precise form. And this is so important.
Yeah.
You're in and out in 45 minutes. And it's like different workouts and you're literally getting stronger each and every time.
Right.
And it's what a satisfying thing. And anyone can do this. There's so many videos.
Right. You can go to so many.
You can go to so many.
So, okay. So like reps, just so we're clear, because lifting heavy means different to everybody.
Absolutely.
So like I can tell you, I work out with a trainer just because I need that accountability. Mm-hmm. And so when I go to my trainer, when we lift heavy, literally the words I can't come out of my mouth all the time. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I can't. But when she tells me we're doing a heavy day, you're going to do less reps but heavier weights. My brain goes, oh, that's only like 5 reps. I can do anything 5 reps.
Yep.
So when you lift heavy, what does that look like?
Well, I think in that particular class, we gather up a lot of weight. So for example, let's say that I'm doing like a goblet squat. It'll be like, hey, Marie, you're at the level right now. It should be at least 35 pounds or 40 pounds. And if you can drag over 50, let's do 50.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I love a challenge. I also love having a coach and I like being in a group fitness environment. And in terms of lifting heavy, for anyone watching this right now, it's like start small.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So start light and build up that confidence. But here's the one thing that I'm so surprised by. I was afraid that because I took some time off, that it was going to take me so long to get strong again.
Yeah.
That has not been my experience.
Ooh.
I feel like I'm gaining muscle and gaining strength faster than I ever thought possible.
Okay.
My ability to do push-ups, everything. My balance has improved. It's amazing.
Amazing.
But you can start, I mean, if it is those 3 to 5 pounds, start there.
Yeah.
Nail your form, get it right. And then let's start building.
Yeah. And so then the other thing that I've found about weightlifting that might surprise people is that after 35, progesterone goes down. So like she just starts to go down, which means that anxiety goes up. And what I've learned when I lift heavy weights is that those are the days I feel the most peaceful in my body.
Yes.
Is that how you feel?
I feel like a fucking rock star. Yeah. Walking out of that class, it's just like I'm full of sweat.
Yeah.
I'm pumped up. I feel amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I set myself up from a dietary perspective.
Yeah.
To crave foods that are actually good for me. I sleep better at night. Everything, my mood. And I think this is really big. If anyone doesn't like working out, it's like, what's your favorite music? Add your favorite music and add it loud.
Yeah.
That's what we do in our classes.
Yeah. Or get your favorite outfit. Oh, go get like swag and like, get some cool shoes.
Yeah.
And it feel like,
make it a whole thing. But I think music for me on a biochemistry kind of level, it changed. Like, I am like, let's go. It's awesome.
Okay. So, what do you work out to? What's your music?
It's usually hip hop. because I am a child. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. That's my favorite music. And they happen to like it at that Liftonic place that I go.
Yeah, which is why you probably double whammy.
And I dance in between sets and they never mind. Because they're a lot of the instructors are also ex-dancers. So
So, and then if you're hearing this and you're like, no, like I'm not lifting weights or I'm really out of shape. I actually learned a little trick from my friend, Dr. Sarah Gottfried. She and I went hiking a couple weekends ago and I was in her house and she had weights all over her house. Like they were like on her kitchen counter. They were like down by her fireplace, like literally multiple places. And I was like, are you trying to remind yourself to lift weights? And she goes, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. So she kept them in places. So if she walked past the kitchen counter, she just picked it up.
Yeah.
And she just did a couple of reps.
So we have that in our house too.
Oh.
So we live in a pretty small New York City apartment and we literally have dumbbells stationed around the house, or there's even kettlebells.
Amazing.
Yeah, there'll be times. And it's like we just pick them up, walk around. And the glucose goddess, what you've had, right, on the show. So that whole notion of even after a meal, do 10 minutes of movement. Yeah. Sometimes for us, if it's raining out or it's just like, we just don't want to go take a walk, we literally walk around our apartment and lift weights.
Yeah. So there you go. So if you want to stop the decline of muscle as you're aging, it could be as extreme as like what we're talking about in the gym, or it can be as simple as just put weights around your house and pick them up every time you walk past them.
Yeah. And, our friend, JJ Virgin, she talks about, it's like aging powerfully. And I was telling her, it's like, as I'm getting older, I'm getting stronger.
Yeah.
And that is my message. It's like the most powerful words in the universe are the words that we say to ourselves. And so for me, that's my own message. So I'm getting older and I'm getting stronger and I'm proving it to myself with the data. Like, oh, I'm now, you know what I mean? My curls are getting, I'm like, this is awesome.
Oh my God, I love that. Every end of every year, I set myself up for what is it that I want to create the next year. And I start the action at the end of the year, because the worst time to do anything is at the beginning of when everybody starts and then we all fail. So this year it was lift weights.
Yeah.
And so I started the last week of December with this trainer. And the first couple of weeks, my brain was like, I can't. And I would leave the gym and I'd be like, this is stinking thinking, Mindy. Like, why are you saying this? And one day I changed it to, I looked at my trainer and I was like, I love how much you believe in me. And I took, I can't, and turned it into, thank you for believing in me. And it was like a way of being like, I'm not even know if I believe in myself right now, but I know I'm with this person right here, right now that believes in me and is guiding me through this exercise. So having an accountability buddy can be really important to transform you. So yeah. Okay. So that's number one. Hopefully we inspired you there.